They're doing some work right now. Atlanta needs a rebirth right now. Atlanta needs a rebirth. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on with my ATLians right now, man? It's a cultural reset that's happening. This was always going to happen, and I want people to understand what's really taking place right now. You know, I think people be thinking I just be speaking out the ass sometime, and I be trying to. What'd you say about? I was saying I'm on a live, but hit bro up, the videographer, tell him pull on through.
Ooh, Aaron?
Yeah. But here's the problem that's going on, man, is that there's a lot of narrative warfare. Atlanta had been seen as the mecca of unity within hip-hop, you understand me, for a long time. And to see it crash and burn like this is a very sad state of existence, right? And there's a multitude of reasons, and this happens in multitude of spaces. Every time there is a thriving space, right, you end up having a time of peak, right? Then you have a time of decay. And in a space of decay is what Atlanta is going through. And you need a reset so you can go through a rebirth, right? Typically during these times, people start believing that it's going to fall off, and so therefore it does, right? And Atlanta has a great opportunity because in the midst of the chaos that's happening right now, for those who don't know, there's essentially all of the so-called street guys is arguing with each other on whether they have ratted or snitched out on someone. Who's a rat, who's not a rat, who follows code, who don't follow code. You understand me? And when it comes to the streets is dead, but they've been operating thinking that these principles would save them. You know what I mean? Everybody has been claiming to be the realest person alive, and the whole time there's skeletons in everybody's closet. And it's not sustainable whatsoever regardless. You understand me? And so the problem is that this was never going to work out forever for long term. Right? There is no code. We know it's no code. There is no real leadership. Then you have social media, which allows you to run narrative warfare on each other. So you got a lot of these rappers that have money, right? And I'm going to tell you why this affects everybody. You speak upon the rappers because the rappers have influence. So a lot of people can't see holistically on how all things are connected. So just pay attention, first of all, right? But when you speak upon, you know, these rappers now utilizing their resources to run campaigns against each other. Just this person paperwork. I have my media. I'm going to talk about this person. And so it is narratives that they running on each other. You understand me? To get one person to believe that this person ain't nothing. Why? Because this person won't stop talking about me. So, okay, then I'm going to run my game. It's warfare that's happening in the streets, but you're seeing street level warfare played out on social media. This has been happening for a long time. Plant seeds in people's ear, this person a rat. It kills their credibility. And it's very hard to ever come back from that, especially when the root and the core of your brand is connected to being real. Listen, a lot of cats I don't feel sorry for. They could have came on high-level conversations. You can sit with somebody who can give you some game, some leadership. You feel me? That tell you how to move, but a lot of people don't want to move. They stuck in the old world. And we're existing in a time where there is two worlds crashing. You have a new world incoming and an old world outgoing. People are trying to hold on to the new world, not understanding the real world, not understanding the world that is coming in. So there's meant to be conflict. I did an actual breakdown about this at the beginning of the year, you understand me, with my numbers brother, Mr. Lloyd. And we was given a breakdown of how this is going to be the year of conflict. But conflict has to happen as two worlds are colliding. So now what you're going to see is people trying to rewrite the rules, saying that this is what we're doing going forward. Because everything has to go through a rebirth. You have to go through a rebirth. And I know that y'all experience this right now. The rebirth is affecting everybody. It's just rap is, you understand me, also one of those spaces where you get to see it played out in real time. But I know y'all experience where it feel like the things that you used to do no longer work. We in a different world. The things you used to do are no longer working. Even when it comes to your wellness. You used to be able to meditate a few times a day and that was enough. You used to be able to just work out a little bit. That was enough. You ran your systems. That was enough. You understand me? Relationship operated. That was enough. We in a new world now. Things have changed. There are new variables that are in this world that you have to account for. And what a lot of people want to do is they want to keep things the same. Return to same, which is homeostasis. I'm in deep contemplation about this right now because as I'm writing my book, I have to give you the codes to understand what the new world way of thinking and operating are. Shout out to my brother Billy Carson. If you're still operating from trying to return to normal, you're going to lose. You have to operate with allostasis. How do you continue to pivot as things are changing? But here's the thing, man. Evil organizes fast and good organizes slow. It's like a cancer attacking your body or a disease attacking your body and start attacking and breaking it down like Ebola. But then the recovery process is always slow because the recovery process, even though it may be stronger than the original, right, disease, but it organizes slow to come fix things, right? You can be cut and things can be broken much faster than it's going to take your cells to come organize and start healing you up. And so that's how it is in a culture. Things are constantly being broken. Society is being broken. But the problem is good is slow. Good is slow. We be moving way too slow, man. I sit down, I have conversations with people all over, man. And I really try to maintain my optimism for the future in all the ways that I can. And basically it's like, I will put in all the effort and I will try everything possible, right, to create success and create this shift within the culture. And in the meantime, I have to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself so that you do not get burnt out before you get to the point where things can, right, actually see change. Because sometimes you get tired of digging for gold, you understand me, right before you about to strike. So you have to take some time back, reset, come back, get back to it. Renew your reason why, get back to it. And we're in a state now where Black America has come so far. It's like we right there, we about to hit gold. But we tired, we burnt out. We see groups fall out. You understand me? We start to see chaos start to come in. We see white supremacists attacking us again. And we said, damn, I thought we went somewhere. That's when they get you. They get you when you get comfortable. As soon as you think you've made progress, they know that you are asleep. You're not as vigilant. You get an Obama. Oh man, we feel good. What do you think the enemies are doing? They're plotting on the next 10 years. Okay, y'all get Obama now. There's gonna be a perfect opportunity for them to realign their bases. You get a Kamala. Okay, y'all happy. Y'all got it. All right. Y'all celebrating. Y'all don't know this is a perfect opportunity for us to re-spark, you understand me, white supremacy. And so you have to understand how the devil thinks. He see your progress as an opportunity for his success because you're celebrating too early. You ain't did nothing yet. We think the representation means something. It does not. It is only the power. You do not want representation in somebody's system. You want power over the system. You don't want to wait for democracy to play itself out. You want to control the rules, right? Moving forward. You want to make it so hard for them to try to reverse anything that you've gotten started because you've solidified your power. And see, Atlanta is the same way. It got comfortable being in that position. You understand me? And didn't think it had to continue to work to keep the unity together. Think that the street level consciousness was going to be enough, and it's not enough. When you get an opportunity to get in front of the people have changed. And when you don't want to recognize the change, you see Gunna is out there living his best life, doing run clubs. This lets you know that the consciousness of the people has changed. So that should let you know that your focus needs to shift on what you need to do in order to have power. There should be nothing but you coming out with positivity. Otherwise, these things wouldn't have happened, but you create environments for chaos. Babies dying. Men are dying. Snitches are getting celebrated. Right? Everybody's background is being showed. Why? Because you didn't organize. Atlanta is supposed to be a black mecca. Very dense population of black people who have money and who has a lot of power. But I fear that you're rocking yourself to sleep. You're getting too comfortable on your throne. So therefore, you're missing the opportunity to establish the real power. Y'all can't afford disunity right now, and everybody's acting like it's about them. Listen, we just did Invest Fest. I don't look at Invest Fest as something that's about Rashad and Troy and Michael. I look at that as an opportunity for the whole culture to have a reset. I see entrepreneurs who are using that space to remind themselves to stay on track, to have some accountability. You understand me? To have something to aspire to. I've seen people having, I've seen people having contests about who had the best booth, taking pride. You understand me? Taking real pride in what they're doing. Isn't it something that we've complained about for a long time, that we haven't taken enough pride in our business? But we so caught up sometime about who's doing it instead of what they're doing. And so if we were doing it, we would want it to be celebrated. But because we're not doing it and we're not the one getting all the money from it and notoriety, we don't celebrate it. So that means that, do you really want to see Black America thrive, or do you just want to see yourself thrive and take credit for what's being done? Those are two completely different things. So therein lies the struggle. InvestFest was a beautiful space. And when I get on that stage, I can do anything on that stage. I can sell on that stage. You have access to 15,000 people, 20,000 people. You don't think I can go in there and create a presentation that maximizes, you understand me, capital? And I'm going to be honest with you. My team don't like when I do that. It's not the most profitable thing to do, but when I get led by spirit, man. When you're in front of God's people, tell them the truth. Tell them the truth of what time it is. Tell them the truth of what they need to do. Give them understanding of the world that they're living in. And it ain't about me. I got multiple companies. I can go in there, break something down so smooth by the time everybody leaves, man. And it's like, it's what I want to say is what God wants me to say. He said, you got plenty of time to do what you want to do. But what is God what you want to do? And so you have to have that balance of knowing sure that part of becoming high level, right, is making sure that you are able to create systems, you understand me, behind your purpose. So that you never get burnt out, so that even when you don't feel motivated or willful, you can still make money and capital. And Spirit told me, man, share them all the keys. He say, I'm holding on to too many things for myself, how I do things. I don't do nothing by accident. And they say, tell them everything. The way you develop your mind, your body, the way you develop your team, the way you make your money. Give them all the keys. And I was like, man, I thought I already was. And nope. People need more. They need everything. So I've been spending the last few weeks just writing down all of my keys. How I did it, how I'm doing it, how I'm going to do it. So that people have a complete blueprint that they too can become high level. Because if I had that blueprint growing up, told me what to look out for, how to set up my systems, how to set up my business, how to set up my mind, how to be a man in this world, how to train myself, You understand me? Like, if I had all those things, I would have been more successful faster. So I do a lot by example. I met up with a lot of people over this last week. People you wouldn't believe. A lot of things just happen to stay in private. And I sometimes see people criticizing, saying that, you know, you're doing this for the cameras and the likes. But it's like, what about everything that I don't post? You'll never see it. So you're speaking on what you do see. And what you don't see, you won't give me credit for. So this is what I learned in this new age. You have to say F all those people, number one. You understand me? That's old criticism for an old world. We are permanently living in a space of social media, of infinite technology. You're permanently living in that space. What's being seen, what's not being seen, how you leverage what you do, all of those particular things matter now. This is a permanent space. When we first started, why are you showing this? You will understand. You too will be showing this in the future. You too will be walking that same path. You too will be understanding the power of the content as a form of media to control narrative. You too will understand why this is necessary to sustain independence. You too will understand how we're showcasing different archetypes, giving people different ways to do things. And so people are stuck between this old world where this person didn't do this, Malcolm didn't do that. Malcolm ain't have social media. What you talking about? And Malcolm started his own media company too. It's called Muhammad Speaks. So most people are speaking from ignorance. So what I want you all to do is have it in your mind. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Some people might not like it. Do it anyway. Some people might hate on you. Do it anyway. You understand me? You might not get the award. Do it anyway. You might not get the love. Do it anyway. You might not even see all the money. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. So what? Because if you start operating from these places of insecurities, you'll never get anything great done. This is your time for real power. This is your time to build up real brands. You understand me? This is your time to really, what?
No, I'm just letting you know. I got you. I'm about to roll these out first.
All right,
when you was talking to the guy on the wheel.
Bet. This your time. Do it anyway. It is a model that I live by. But if I don't do it this way, then they see this. And then they might not say this, but if they, nope, do it anyway. That's freedom. But they might not understand it. Do it anyway. They'll get it when it's time. That's going to stop all of those weak-ass thoughts that you have. It's going to stop all of them thoughts, all that overthinking. I don't know if they're going to like them out. Do it anyway. Just do it. Now, you're going to put real science behind it. And when we start developing systems behind what we're doing, you understand me? Then it becomes replicable. But I want you to first, instead of focusing on how do you make something that can scale, make the most amount of money, how do you make something that can sustain over time? Because you have to focus on resilient business models today. What is a resilient business model of the future? I've seen AI coming for the last 10 years. That's why I made my brand AI proof. And when I was teaching it 10 years ago down there, people ain't want to listen. But I said do it anyway, because in the future I'll have documentation. Now all I do is watch people regurgitate old information. You know, it takes a whole lot of confidence to be successful. It takes a lot of confidence to be successful. But there's something above confidence. You understand me? Above confidence is understanding. Above confidence is knowing. And there's not a lot of people who truly know themselves. You know, confidence starts with kind. You understand me? That's what a kind man is. He's a confidence man. He might not have nothing behind what he's saying, but he has the confidence. confidence is not even really real. You understand me? Now, you can have confidence. It's something that you walk with. But when you know, it's kind of like think of it in a sense. You're a trained boxer. There's a little scrawny kid off the street, scrappy. He got heart confident as hell. And he think, in his mind, if y'all get in the ring, he has an opportunity with you. And you know there's nothing he can do with you. Not even close. That ain't confidence. That's something that you know. It's a whole different level. It's not faith. It's not belief. I know it. I don't have to use confidence. I don't have to portray anything. I just know. You walk in that ring, you'll get knocked out. I'm going to win. When you get to that place, think about what you know. What you know that is really true. When you walk on a stage, what do you know about yourself that is truthful? It's beyond confidence. It's a whole nother level. That's when you are operating in flow. Confidence is important, especially superior confidence. Confidence is almost an aura itself, and it's infectious to the people around you because it makes them feel good about themselves. But when you know something, people interact with you different. They don't know exactly what it is, but they know you know something. And they know you know something that they don't know. And then it makes them bow down to that. Makes them bow down to that. People don't always bow down to confidence, but they will bow down to that. You know what? If I meet a genius that is a technologist, and he's been in his field producing inventions and technology for years, I know he knows something I don't know. And he knows I know. He knows things that I don't know. Walk around with the knowing. The problem is, there's not a lot of things that people know. This is why there's so much insecurity. And knowing comes from experience too. But also knowing is something that is deep within your soul, that other people are trying to figure out. People interview me all the time and they want to know, what is it that I know? What is it that I know about myself and the world that allows me to be? They want to know that because they want to know that about themselves. And so people will be attracted to you for what you know about yourself, because they figure that if they can figure out how you got to that place, then maybe they can know themselves that deeply. And then you can convert that, right, into systems. You can help people along the way, because the reality of it is many people have different ways in which they've gotten to the knowing. And all I see in the rap game, sometimes I see in Atlanta, I see a lot of people who have money, a lot of people who have wealth, but they don't have a knowing. They're trying too hard. And if they knew themselves, they wouldn't be trying this hard. You know some things. You know how to create a quick little system. You know how to make you some money. You know how to build a little brand, do a little marketing. But you don't know how to hold attention. Knowing holds attention. Instead, I see you chasing for attention. In a fight with everybody else. Man, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do that. But nobody really knows. Then there's another man who's not chasing for none of the attention, because he knows something that nobody else do. You said it seemed like I'm hating on Atlanta. Why would you say that? I'm trying to give Atlanta some game. That's a insecurity. You say it seems. It's not something you know. You need to speak from a place of knowing, not speak from a place of guessing. You should be happy for blacks in ATL and assist. That's what I'm doing. I've been doing it, but I would talk down on people who need to, because some people are low. Some people ain't worth it. I don't care if you just get money. That don't make you worthy of appreciation. It's about the impact and what we build with it and what we do with it that matters. So I don't celebrate every black person getting money, because some people are just capitalists. You understand me? And if it's okay to use capitalism, but once you just become a capitalist, meaning that you're only looking for the opportunity to make money. Now, on Instagram, the reason I named this live Damn ATL is because I see all the rappers going back and forth with each other, exposing each other paperwork, calling each other rats. That looks bad on the city. That looks in the midst of the greatest Reconstruction era in American history, in the midst of the militarization, right, of the police department, in the midst of the greatest currency shift on the planet Earth, in the midst of the end of democracy and the decay of America, when it's the greatest opportunity to build. Now, I've talked to the real people in Atlanta with some real power, but we talk behind the scenes. But we deserve to shame those doing the wrong thing, because they are distracting those from the right thing, and they could be using their platform to uplift everybody else. But we're not seeing that. So if you're afraid to be admonished for your public actions, then that just means you're not a man. Some people can't do that. Some people don't want zero accountability in private or public. Y'all don't understand how these young people, man, are so captivated by toxicity. All these young people are captivated by toxicity. The young people all across America have illiteracy rates that are very high. And we need to do something about it. And I went to a charter school yesterday to go visit, to document, so we can help bring more exposure and awareness, so that they can also build them a high school. Because I think they go through K through 6, and we want to help them go to K through 12. Probably the greatest school I ever visited. It's in South Fulton area. Beautiful. Remind me of the school I went to when I was younger. Harmony with nature, entrepreneurship programs. You understand me? Like farming programs. It's immaculate. And the brothers who run in the school, they really care. I had a conversation with the president of the black president of the Black Farmers Association. He was able to get over $2 billion in reparations. Most people never know he existed. Sued the USDA. Took him decades, but he won the case. Y'all gonna hear about him on high-level conversations. Travel the world to go gather these stories, bring them back to the masses so that he can get the help he wants, because he's trying to connect young people to elder farmers who have nobody to pass down land. Nobody pays us to do this. We do it because it's in the heart. So these things are not money-making things. You understand me? These are impact things. You have to understand, we spend time, money, and resources on making impact. Show me where the profit is in that. And don't get me wrong, we want to be profitable in all things that we're doing, because that is a very positive thing. But sometimes you have to be willing, you understand me, to put impact before the profit. But not to the point where it's such a sacrifice that you can't continue the mission and you can't live comfortably. So I think that everybody deserves to live a certain quality of life, and that's what we want to increase. I want to see 10,000 families wealthy. I can't be responsible for all the black families in America, but if we say out of almost 50 million black people in America, can we at least get 10,000 wealthy families? Not 5 billionaires. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What about If we can get 10,000 black families, that'll be enough for the whole world, especially if they're moving correctly. I was with Mayor Kasim Reed the other day, the ex-mayor of Atlanta. He was telling me about the opportunities in real estate in some of these cities. Like my focus right now is, even as we're doing the wellness retreats, as we're doing the wellness festival, I'm going to be taking large amounts of those profits and pouring it into buying land, connecting with land owners, helping them build out. There's a brother who owns this space that I'm at right now, and I'm going to help him with his space to help build it out. Right over there is going to be an amphitheater. I'm going to be leaving this space later today, but it's going to be an amphitheater, and it's going to be a stage. And me and Brother Yaki is going to be doing a wellness retreat over here. 3 days. Forest bathing. Resetting your entire system. Doing blood tests on some people that come there, checking their cortisol levels, and then documenting, you understand me, that decrease by the time you leave. I do things on a level where I focus on projects of passion. I focus on the science of it. I focus on maximizing impact. And yes, Brother Blue Pill, monetizing the impact as well. You understand me? It's going to be a very beautiful space. And I'm going to make sure that we list out all of the statistics, right, when it comes to black men's health, black women's health, black America's health. And over the next 5 years, we will be the healthiest group in America, maybe even in the world. The goal is to turn the culture into a blue zone, and a blue zone is where you have people who live to be centurions, and centurions are people who live up to 100 years old. So focusing on longevity, you understand me? Focusing on deep wellness, right? Focusing on biohacking, focusing on super active community building. I know my calling. I don't just want us to be healthy. I want us to be the healthiest. My brother Potesi said, you gotta pay for your ish. All right, you was giving cool game. You paid off the. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what that means, Brother Potesi Day. You have to learn how to communicate your words a little better. I suggest reading books. They really work for the brain. I do want y'all to understand a little bit about some entrepreneurship as things go on behind the scenes, because they telling me that I don't, you understand me, share enough. Like, this Invest Fest was an interesting investment, right? It was the most we spent on a booth this year. And to me, it was my least favorite booth based on vision and execution, because we weren't able to get all things done. Experientially wise, it was my favorite booth. The way we pulled it off, the experience of the booth, right? But it's kind of one of those things, is what you thought you was buying versus what you got. You know, it's always beautiful to bring family together, bring the team together, to launch new products together and things of that nature. But I want to talk about the business side so people understand that you have to count and factor in all those things. People pocket watch to see how much you're making, not to see how much you're spending, not to look at the expenses and how much you're netting. It's completely different. You understand me? And so when you do that, you have to account for, and this is for all of the businesses, right? I want to make sure that all the businesses at InvestFest are really thinking about maximizing, not the day of, because you're going to spend so much time the day of. You're going to spend so much time putting these things together. But you have to understand what you're doing in person should be maximizing your online, right? And so if you're not shooting dynamic content in a way to where you have months of worth of content that you're utilizing, which are bringing back sales so that you can get past breaking even and into profit, you're not doing it correctly. Then that's where systems, that's where funnels. Now, each one of these things typically costs, thousands of dollars to make, but now we have the ability to vibe code so we can get these done at a cheaper rate. Average person is probably spending, I would say, booth costs can go anywhere between $5,000 to $30,000. I've seen people spend. So when you're looking at somebody's booth, you're looking at their investment, right? Then you have to factor in each person that is working that has to get paid. Then you have to have somebody that is also building the booth for you, right? So all of that factor in booth design, logistics, you understand me? These people, some people have to fly in. Plane tickets can be anywhere between $600, $2,000, $3,000, depending on what class you're flying and where you're flying from, right? Then they have to order products and enough products and try to account for the possible demand versus the supply and what they can sell through, right? And so a lot of people probably have excess product right now, right? And they need to continue to sell through. So as you see all of those businesses in the marketplace, remember that these businesses, they understand me, are baby startups in our communities, right? These are our baby startups just getting started, right? And when you see a business not doing something correctly, you can always consult them respectfully, you understand me, and give them feedback, because the customers help you build the business, right? And so your website, your emails, you got to pay somebody to do each one of those things, unless, again, utilizing AI that can help automate some of that. But in person, you can't automate that, because you have to be doing real customer service, talking to real people, right? Then you have hotels, transportation, and you have food. We spent more than $12,000. But then we have multiple brands. So we have Goldwater, we have Supermine. Right now I'm trying to figure out what does that consolidation process look like in the future, because it's just too many things to run at once. I don't want to get burnt out, and I believe that it's important to have clarity and focus when you're building, right? So if you have multiple brands, try to figure out how to consolidate those or work them into an ecosystem. So we have our clothing, right? Everything you see me wear, for the most part, I designed it, and we probably sell a version of that, right? So then we have Crown Society brand, right? We have High Level Club, we have Goldwater, we have Supermind Labs. You feel me? We have High Level Conversations. Those are the brands that you see in the ecosystem. And then we hired a black-owned business called Wellness Lux. So they came in and did cryotherapy. That's a part of the Supermind Labs experience, right? They gave you the immersive wellness experience. You put on the headphones, and then you are able to lay down on the infrared seat. All of that allows you to get you a quick reset, a cognitive reset. So we wanted to make sure we had something special in that booth, right? So again, as a consumer, think about the expenses going into each layer of that. And when you're looking at a business, study the intentionality behind the business. And you can't compare them to a larger business. Let's say we had Square next to us, beautiful booth. Square is down there, $1 billion company. It is a $1 billion company, right? So that's different. So when I see younger companies growing and developing, I'm seeing self-investment. I respect that self-investment, right? And InvestFest is a space to where we're seeing the black economy grow. Now, again, these are the retail stores for the most part, right? These are not your $100 million companies, right? Those are the ones that sponsor the events. Every black-owned company that's doing revenue, I would say past 10 plus million to $100 million, going up into $1 billion, should be sponsoring everything that's happening in the black community at scale, right? Number one, and it depends on what that service is, but still, I think that they all have philanthropy funds, right? They all have a certain amount of taxes that they have to pay, right? They have a bunch of different things that they can be doing, and right now the economy is not circular enough. And this is why when I talk about black excellence, we will celebrate things happening in these pockets, and you'll be wondering, like, well, how come we don't see these things get funded? Because everybody's treating everybody like capitalists. We're not divided into roles right now. In order to have unity, you must have division, meaning that, okay, this person has the business. This person gathers the people. This person deals with the health. You understand me? This person deals with the spirituality. This person deals with the politics, right? And so the spiritual person is helping the person that is the revolutionary keep their mind together. You understand me? The person that is focused on profit and capitalism is help funding the revolutionary. You understand me? So he can reach more people to create more impact. You understand me? Which is also helping the educator curate a culture. Then the hip hop person, or the rapper rather, is creating music, you know what I mean, in representation and context, right? For the consciousness of those people so that things continue to grow and go further. So what we've lost of is a lot of that intentionality behind the scenes. So I see fragmentation. So I think that the only time it's worth celebrating is when these things have interconnectedness. And if that interconnectedness is not there, then I'm not personally celebrating because I don't care. Your personal success, I love it, I salute it. I celebrate the collective success. If I see you being successful and I believe it has a collective impact, I'm celebrating. Whether I like you or not. Just think about that. It don't matter if I like you or not. It don't matter if I agree with you. If you're doing something to impact hundreds, tens, thousands, millions of people, hats off to you. So Invest Fest was successful. We had some things afterwards. Can't really get too deep into, but that was successful. We have September 3rd coming up. I just really want to focus on blueprints that allow people to build in the future. Whether it's the AI blueprints, whether it's how to turn ideas into money systems and influence. And in that systems include, of course, all the AI. Most people don't have really good influence because they don't know themselves. And until you can build that up and you can beam your light to the world through your values, you're not going to be able to win. I'm going to see you continuously being in a trend of competition. You understand me? Hoping that you are able to create success, but with no documentation, you're not going to be able to get that repetition. I see the men trying to figure out what to do next. How to be men in a world that is broken, right? So those blueprints are necessary to share. I really want to get into that with my brother Deontay Kyle, because I believe he shares a different perspective, right? And he covers what I don't cover. It's a different base that he's speaking to daily. And so for the brothers, I definitely want to make sure y'all show up. For the ladies, you want to show up as well, because you want to know what to look for. You know, I was having a conversation on this podcast the other day, and I was telling them, kind of ushering the sentiments. My brother Deontay Kyle said that, you know, we're going to need more plumbers. And I was telling the ladies, y'all need to go find y'all a plumber. Yes. Y'all need to find y'all a plumber. See, the problem is that, and I know I'm switching bases all the way, right? Because I'm just letting streams of thought come to me. But the problem is that all these women is looking for, all this 6 foot, you understand me, make 6 figures, all of this other stuff. You find you a plumber. They got stability. You understand me? They making some real money. You feel me? They not all on social media everywhere. Because a lot of ordinary women are looking for extraordinary men. And we need ordinary women with ordinary men. We need regular women with regular men. Our grandparents, parents, and our parents and great-grandparents, man, they was just regular men with regular women. That's the truth. They were just regular men. So you can't reference nothing from the past at all if you're not willing to be with a regular person. Don't talk to me nothing about relationships. Don't talk to me nothing about love, expectation, family. Regular woman with a regular man. That's it. And being pretty don't make you extraordinary. Being pretty don't make you extraordinary. You know what I mean? Because if you can't assist in nation building, then you don't want the responsibility in that, go find, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way. Like, I really mean it. Plumbers, truckers, brothers who doing security, you understand me? Clerks. See if they are good men. That's it. Good men for good women, and the conversation about relationships is over. That's it. If you optimize on focusing on whether this is a good man or a good woman, then the conversation about relationships is over. There's a lot of lonely women in the world looking for something that don't exist. And the stats will tell you that it don't exist, yet you feel like you are the exception to the rule. We just need ordinary men with ordinary women. Ordinary people, like John Legend say. We're just ordinary people. You know what I'm talking about? So ladies, y'all can stop getting all of the ass shots. Just keep your body ordinary. You ain't got to go get new breasts. Keep them ordinary. You already got them, that's on you. But just stay ordinary. Because brothers are now moving forward, just looking for a regular woman. That's it. If you got all those things, blessings to you. But now, the new mandate is an ordinary man with an ordinary woman. Go find you a plumber. You know what I'm saying? Go find you somebody doing construction. Go find you a teacher. Now, brothers, that does not absolve you from being great within. Does not absolve you from being ambitious. That does not absolve you from being, you understand me, maximizing your potential. Because nobody wants to be with a lazy man. This is not to absolve you to operate in any level of weakness, because that woman can hold you accountable for the potential that you do not reach. So you must live at your edge. You must pursue a level of greatness in that which you do. You're going to be a damn plumber, be the best. If you have the mind of where you can create a plumbing franchise, do that. If you go be a truck driver, be the best truck driver, be in shape. You understand me? When you get at the stops, make sure you eating correctly. Make sure you are doing push-ups when you hop out. Make sure you're clean, you're fresh. You understand me? Every single day. If you have the ability to go learn more and go get you a fleet of trucks, make sure you're setting yourself up for success. Because then we can start having the 10,000 families. 10,000 strong ones. We need ordinary men with ordinary women. Go ahead and get you a plumber. Plans. I know you had a different idea for what you thought you was going to get. It's not going to happen. I'm not here to ruin your plans. I'm here to give you some real ones. Straight up. I just get tired of seeing it, because scientifically, what we're doing is we're creating an invisible population of men. The invisible population of men, meaning that when women are giving, and this happens throughout human family, when you're giving a mandate on what the criteria is that you want, gotta be 6 feet, he gotta make 6 figures, 7 figures, you gotta have this car, this home, this thing, this thing. You're training your brain to look for that. It's called the reticular activation system. Once you train your brain to see only that, all the other men disappear. So now we created an invisible population of men because we are training women to only see a certain type of man. And it is putting undue stress on them, man, because their options are increasing by 1,000x now. And so now they have increased desire because they have unlimited option, which no generation has ever had, which means they have to raise their discipline to the level of new desire, which is damn near impossible. So there's a trickle effect of all these things. And then the other men are becoming a little bitter about it, saying that, damn, well, I'm a man to work a job. Maybe I ain't got a damn Rolls Royce. Maybe I can't go to Atlanta and go to the bottle section. You know what I mean? Maybe I can't show off like the influencers, but man, I'm a good man that works a job. So now they're trying to keep up with what you're portraying and saying you wanting, spending their money, going broke and poor, because otherwise they won't be seen. Sometimes you get some of these women that, they're beautiful. Some of them some 10s, 9s. They start talking about what they want and all that, and everybody start following their expectations. All the women think they deserve what these supermodels are able to get. See, back in the day, people had regular lives and they understood, man, that's celebrity lives. I'm out of it. I'm happy with what I have. We don't have that anymore. This is part of a huge problem. We want what everybody else has and don't appreciate what we have. Oh, he can't take you out to cakes and Turks and Caicos? That what you mad at? You was never gonna go there anyway. Maybe y'all can save up, y'all can get there. Y'all figure it out. Maybe it might not be as frequent. Maybe he can't take you on a canned trip to France. Sandro Pay on the boat. Stop putting all of that on that brother, man. You know, there ain't nothing wrong with having ambitions. Now, you sit down with him and you start figuring out a plan on how y'all can get there. But don't put all this undue pressure just on him. You got a brain too. You sit down and say, baby, listen, this is how much you make per year, right? Now, if we invest this much and this percentage and it do this, then we'll be able to have this amount and we'll be able to go on this trip. And he'd be like, man, you figured it out, man. Let's do it. Now, if you get a man that say, I ain't with that, then that's different. Y'all ain't got compatibility. But everything is figure outable. You know what I'm talking about? Otherwise, I know what's going to happen. Y'all will have these AI boyfriends, these robot men in the future, which is like next year. You understand me? Y'all gonna be, some of these gonna be on your phone. He gonna be talking to you the whole entire time, or in your little ear somewhere, telling you everything you want to hear. Pimping AI. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the fellas. You gonna have all these AI hosts telling you everything you want to hear. Telling you everything you want to hear. Ladies, think about it. You ain't gonna be able to compete with these damn robots.
Peace, God.
Peace to the God.
How you, my brother?
And I'm good, man. But today I found decreased cortisol levels to the point where I can engage with the world.
Oh, okay, because you've been in nature. You
Yeah,
tapped in.
but
Um,
it's the nature in me. That was the question.
hmm?
I've been in nature, but I had to make sure the nature was in me.
Well, that's
There's a
where it comes
forestry of
to,
harmony.
yes, connecting your universe to the beautiful grid that is Atlantis that happens to sit on quartz crystal.
Yeah,
They didn't understand the correlation to Atlantis. You
yeah, I
know,
seen that post.
before Atlantis is a body or a particular landmass surrounded by water, the focus shouldn't be on the water, it's focused on the landmass. The landmass is a crystalline quartz structure, and Atlantis was a civilization built on advanced technology, pretty much the same way that this concept about us being Wakanda, it's a mental concept in our mind because we have access to technology that exists in the cloud. It's a digital
Mhm.
world that we live in, and the fact that we are collectively consecrated on a particular landmass that happens to have quartz underneath it means that we are the technology. And the way that we operate with nature is technology, and us being in our ancestral environments and connecting and getting downloads and uploads, and then these thoughts manifesting at the speed of thought, that's technology. So when you're speaking about the advancement of technology coming and people's unwillingness to engage properly with that technology, this is what our ancestors spoke about. There would be the damnation of a people who perish for lack of knowledge, because you got the access to the tech, you got the access to the high technology that is supposed to be utilized in high ways, where high level conversations give you the wherewithal to think on a deeper level so you can maximize the utilization of technology that will put us on par with what George Lucas used in the 70s to make Star Wars. We can do
Mhm.
that right now. But people will be so transfixed in the again the things that they show that are easy to drive the algorithm of the internet, right? Negativity. When I think that the message literally went over people's heads because we were all the way up at the top of a stone mountain that was once a crystal mountain. That is
Mhm.
the technology that powers the system that we are rallying against. So which better way to battle that system but to override its program altogether? So and then get castigated by the very people that you're doing it for. So I always commend you and other people that are out here on the front line operating in real time, attempting that the people get it, because you can't say everything and go over their head directly to them people.
Yeah, that's true. Even though you want to, but it's not the best way to do it. And the real reality of slowing down in a world that's speeding up is so powerful because if the technology is speeding up, it means you don't have to, right? It means that what you need to do is be in the calmest state as possible.
Right.
So now when I go on to mid journey and I'm trying to gather my thoughts of what is it that I want to see, right? I can calmly gather all the details, communicate it clearly, and the machine will do all of the fast work. But instead, you're in this state of, oh, all right, what am I about to make? Oh, I think I want to make this. I think I want to, all right, how do I describe it? Brain can't even compute all of that. So,
And
in the time of the digital age, as it speeds up, if you can get your internal processes to calm down, you will actually be able to manage the machines greater. Because if you got a boss that's losing his damn mind trying to tell you what to do, he's barely communicating. And now you are the boss, but now you have the machines.
now I would also want to add on to that that these machines are being taught by keystrokes. So the keystrokes are even taught to tell whether you are typing with anxiousness or anxiety based
Mm,
on your keystrokes. And this sentience, right, or this move towards sentience, what they call simulation, I would say, based on evidence that I've seen on my last few trips to New York, the computer operates on an Ethernet, right?
mm.
And the Ethernet is meaning that, shout out to my brother Human that pops up at the right time. I don't know whether he's going to agree with this, but nonetheless, when we're touching those keyboards and those keyboards are still part and parcel to electrical circuitry, right? That Ethernet is picking up on your ethereal existence. So the information that we have in our ether package, right? Our ethereal body. Look, again, there's things that you prompt this computer to do, and it's going into your back office and bringing out ideas and thoughts that you're not speaking openly. Why? Because it's tapping into this ethereal aspects of you interfacing with anything that has an electrical circuitry is part of consciousness. We need to just stop that. right?
That's a fact. Even
We're
somebody mentioned it, voice. Like, so in the future, children are probably going to be interacting with it mostly on voice. They probably won't be typing much of anything in the future. And there's so much information in the voice itself, all right? As you're being recorded and it's giving feedback. You understand me? And
we
so that state of nervousness that's recorded in, you're talking about as we're typing. In the voice, you're getting so much more data.
mm-hmm.
Feel me? As you're just listening to a person, and they're able to pull apart the frequencies within your vocal cords and tell you the exact state mentally you're in, and then responding completely based on that state. But then taking that data, converting that to selling that to companies to know exactly what to show you and what to sell you. Right? The study in which how machines influence us is called captology. It's been around for a long time.
Yes.
So we've been talking a lot of capping. We ain't been talking no captology.
No
You
captology.
understand me? So our digital literacy is very low, even though we are engaging with the digital reality at very high rates. And so this is why it's confusing and controlling us because we haven't taught about the effects of the relationship between man and machine. And so the next generation has to study captology. They have to understand cognitive warfare. They have to understand digital literacy. You understand me? And they have to have a routine that allows them to consistently digital detox as we're engaging and creating in this interaction between man and machine.
Yes. Because what we have, we could walk away, and once again, it gives us a very sound understanding to ancient teachings. They said first it was the word. We found out when everything, is shift through the rinse, through the wash and the rinse. They said the only thing about you that really matter is your voice,
Mm.
not your body, your voice, because your voice is connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, and the voice is the mechanism that says more. It's the signature that can't be duplicated. They showed you that with 11 labs and everything else. The last frontier to be tapped into is the authenticity of the voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They will never completely duplicate the voice. Yes, so the bonding of the word, the fact that words are worlds, and they have not yet, figured out how to duplicate your voice or your word to create another world per se or a digitized world. It's still the power of your voice because your voice is connected to your breath, which connects you to the spirit, which connects you to the Most High. So
Yeah, that
that
would be the thing
vehicle,
that they can
yeah,
mimic
we
breath
are an empty
activities.
vessel. We are a vehicle with no passenger. But when that voice comes online and that voice comes alive, right? That resonance when when these vocal cords start moving and generating, this is my ability, to manifest, to create out of nothing, if you will, to coalesce material into my intention, and boom, we got reality. So they have not been able to necessarily duplicate that in the digital realm. Um, and
And
then to go just step further, when we speak about even with the AI tutoring, Khalees said this. She said, "What the AI observes her child's eye twitching, so the AI can replicate from the student and tell when you're getting bored, when you're not attentive, or when you are totally engaged, and they know to drill down further with that level of teaching because they got the interest of the child. So they're saying that AI will be that much more of effective as a teacher. We already are in the present future in terms of education where we can put our children and solve a lot of issues with
hmm
saying, oh, we don't got time to teach these children. Children are going to school. They not learning nothing. They just defunded the Department of Education. Yeah, it's in our hands. And we got the technology to actually, engage our children and meet them where they're at for their personal interests or find out why they become disinterested in certain topics and then re-engineer plans specifically to go in there and engage them. This is a war for our children right now, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we need to respond in due form. And the excitement of it is that it's not a war that's being fought with, with tangibles. It's one that's be this we pushing forward with attention and intention. I
Right.
intentionally want these children to win because they're us, and I have the attention and focus to get into solutions and plans, right? Or just to show them enough that we care. And you
Right.
doing that, you opening these platforms, going on tour, city to city, state to state, keep the lights on, keep that stage lit, and continue to put these amazing faces on these platforms to speak to our people. Because outside of that, I don't know what else is out here.
Man,
Getting real thin.
I've had the great pleasure of speaking to a lot of the power brokers that exist in the culture, and you can see the disconnect. You know, it's people always ask you what you gonna do next, but and I think part of that is because we're not used to masters, right? And by that I mean that when you see somebody playing a violin, you don't say what you gonna do next. You expect, right? Like, no,
Right.
that person. I expect that person once they picked up something to master it, right? And so the goal with everybody is not to consistently, ambitiously be focused on this endlessly next, but master the thing that you're doing. Make it
Right.
bigger, make it better, right? And because most of the time we never get to see that greatness scale. And so people don't get enough appreciation for the mastery. And so when you want the metrics of reward and success and visibility, you say, "Oh, I need to do more so people can see me doing more." No, 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 no. Continue to do what you do. Just keep getting better at it. Just keep getting better at it. You understand me? And that's what I'm on right now. How mastering this arena, mastering this domain, and getting better at it. You
Look,
understand me? Because if I empty the domain, then it won't be no master there in the space in which I occupy.
I again, I see you moving in that direction. Again, it's very few, so the lane is not crowded. Embrace it. Don't pivot from it. Stay in that lane so much that they gotta write your name in the lane like they do with them other folks after a situation, right? Get your name written in the lane like HOV, and that's the God lane. You know what I mean? Don't pivot. Don't get distracted. Um, and again, like you said, and advice to other people, in the audience that are looking for impact and ways to take your time. Things are speeding up, and it's a necessity for you to fall back to hear yourself, so what conversation, what download, what communication is yours. Ask the question of your higher form, and then sit back. Allow yourself the time and the timidity to receive the download. So I asked myself, after some incidents took place last week, like, all right, what can we do, in the space of these children that are being labeled? They're out labeling them from society by calling them YNs. It's a very mutable place to exist in. So I said we're going to come up with the YNN, which is the Young News Network, and we're going to put the children in the front because the children have not led for a long time, and them having press credentials puts a layer of protection on them where not only can they be outside recording, but now they have the ability to test the validity of this constitution. Because if they do so much in this country to stand on 2A, when somebody gonna stand on 1A,
I
right?
like that. I love that actually. I love that.
So we are rechanging the name. We're putting the power back in the hands of the youth where it belongs, and we're allowing the youth to have a voice, but that voice being the voice of the youth. You know, uh, and taking the steps to put them through journalist boot camp so they're just not outside irresponsibly yielding that sword and that shield because it's powerful. And as a journalist, I'm telling you, they told me the second strongest thing in New York City next to an NYPD badge was a press pass.
Mm.
And that's what saved me numerous times on 125th from ending up in the back of a paddy wagon. Um, so for leadership, y'all, is really time that we, step to the forefront because the solutions always exist. There's no problem that is not, bundled without a solution from
Yeah.
creator. The quest and the test is for you to come here, find it, refine it, and then put it into action, you know, and then watch the chips fall where they may. The opposition that is set up to us is just like a springboard. It's a beautiful thing. I
Yo,
just look at it. It's like
are
a
you in
pull-up
Georgia?
bar.
Are you in Atlanta?
Yes, sir. It's a pull-up bar. It's a bench. It's weights. You know, and it could look weights could look intimidating. The ball could look intimidating. All of that stuff could look intimidating. But when you're ready and prepared to show out, you get on those things and you make marvels of them and you own them spaces, and
Hmm.
then it no longer looks intimidating. They just becomes, you know, tools in your toolkit that ultimately, you know, tell your story about how great you became by rising to the occasion and answering the challenge. And I so look forward to this journey. You know what I'm saying? And I know where your heart is, brother. So please, man, lead with your heart. You don't owe nobody nothing. You dig what I'm saying? The results speak for themselves. You know, never compromise the vision, and everything that's yours will find you. Don't chase it.
I received that. I received that with love, brother. I appreciate that. Um, I'm gonna be having some dinner at my spot. You understand me? So you're definitely welcome to pull up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a high level conversation, you got something that you're pushing right now, you know the platform is always yours.
Okay. Indeed. We'll tap in. It's time.
Got this beautiful lake back here, man. It's
That's
blue pill
that's
approved.
that's so beautiful. I might have to do my I might have to do Sunday service from there tomorrow. That
Pull
looks
up,
like
brother. Bring, bring,
Pope
bring the
Pablo
worthy
might need to,
ones.
yeah. Pope Pablo might need to pop out.
Yeah, I think I'm waiting on. I'm in Atlanta, so I'm kind of vetting what's a really good private chef right now. I need somebody that can also bring some NAD, some glutamine. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Don't forget
So
I'm Chef Pablo too, so
oh, come on. Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna connect you.
I I
Connect with Amechi so we can set
and
that up then.
I have fun because I've been cooking since I've been back, man. It's cooking is such a science. It's so
Yeah.
alchemical, and I love doing it. I put love in it. Everybody that knows, you know, they know that they have an opportunity to taste, you know, love and light in the bowl.
Yes,
So
sir.
I would be honored, because sometimes we just got to take things in our own hands and trust in ourselves that, you know, our input maximizes our output. And
Hmm.
it's really the time. I learned so many lessons these past few months. You got to keep friends and family. You know, you got to put a love bubble around you. These are different times that we in,
Oh.
and I've seen like I got burnt for like attempting to love out of out of place,
Mm.
putting love on people that's not ready for it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then they turn that against you. So
Yeah. I experienced that yesterday.
looking for love in all the wrong places because everyone is not ready to receive. And people are really communicating through their pain bodies right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people are disappointed with themselves because they should be in harvest season, but they didn't plant the seeds.
Ooh,
And so they're frustrated with people who did. They're seeing all these farmers around them. They're seeing all this produce that they produced,
ugh.
and they're mad at themselves and they don't know how to alleviate that frustration besides taking anger out on everyone else.
Man, that's so real because we in Virgo season. In Virgo season, this is the season of the harvest moon. Um, you know, the sign of Virgo is the wheat because it speaks to those who did the work. You had to do the work and you had to prepare yourself for spring to do the work for your things to flourish in summer for you to get your rewards come harvest season, which is fall, for you to be insulated come the death of winter, right? For you to be ready to receive another assignment to execute because you get to the front of the line, create a know that you his guy. Yeah, I like these farmers. They
Hmm.
have respect for cycles.
And we have to, like, I was speaking with a farmer. He said you should label yourself as a farmer, right?
That's right.
Not only there's different laws for being a farmer, you might not realize you come under, right, the regulations and the rules based on the business that you're doing, there's a certain square amount of footage that you got to have, right, as a farmer, right? But you
Mm,
come under different tax advantages and things of that nature.
mm.
And so for him, he an entrepreneur, he's a farmer. And I'll get y'all that information, and we'll probably share that September 3rd. But it's a lot that I've learned over this week that's really mind blowing. It's a lot that can't be shown. It's a lot of the private work that has to be done in order for things to shift over the next 20, 40, 50 years, that I make myself proud, you know, where it's like y'all get to see the stage moments, you get to see the pretty pictures. And there's always gonna be this thing where some people are like, "You're doing it for the camera," like, but the stuff you don't see, you will never give me credit for. So you have to always, appreciate yourself from the invisible work. You understand me? There's a lot of things you will make visible, but the invisible world, man, is so much greater than the visible world.
Look, all right. So check this out, right? Because I do a lot of work in behind the curtain. I do a lot of work in the darkness, if you will. I even do work in the underworld, right? That I don't you don't always get credited for because you don't necessarily want to lead with that on your resume. But then you come outside and your chest is high, and people is like, "Oh, you feel?" I'm like, if you only knew the wars that I fought, if
Man,
you only knew the work that I do, if you only know the rooms that I was in advocating on your behalf, right? And put a smile on them people's face when I came in there, they had a frown because they were standing next to a toilet and you was in it, and they was talking about whether they was gonna put the fast flush or the slow flush on it. But by the time they finished seeing the guard, they like, oh yeah, I represent a community, so you need to hold off on. They have no idea the levels of the conversations and the diplomacy that has taken place on behalf of this community at the highest of levels of what they consider to be quote unquote power. And then you come and it's like you're not even looking for your flowers. You just saying, y'all got my chest up, and this is how we all supposed to have our chest up. Why you caught up on me? Because my chest is up. You intimidated by my chest? You see me doing push-ups.
yeah, come on, man. I did the push-ups around the world.
He did the push-ups. My chest can't sit up now. Like, come on, B.
I did 500 yesterday.
So it be that it's like, well, all right, well, if you ain't doing the work, then you intimidated by people with their chest up. But if you doing the work, then we don't got chest up competitions. You just like, oh, his chest up is like my chest is up. Oh,
Right,
that's the
right, right,
result
right,
of
right,
work.
right.
So we have such an assignment, brother. And I was speaking about this when I was in New York, and someone brought. I think the brother. Shout out to my brother Rap Deals. I seen you doing an interview with him.
Yeah, great interview. Great
He said that
interview.
he's a high level conversationalist, and
He
when you start
great
your
at
high
what he
level
does.
conversation network, that's definitely one of the lights in our community. I met a few, you feel me? Pure lights
Yeah.
that are sitting on these stages and doing these interviews. That brother asked me a key question, and it allowed me to go on my narrative bag. He said, "Do you think when we cross different hemispheres and things of that nature that it activates different parts?" And I got to tell my story about the UK. When I crossed that Atlantic Ocean, in a
Mm.
different hemisphere, my mind got activated, and seeing EYL and Rashad and them opening up liberty situations across the water and the continent, that opened up a different part of my mind. But me also spending time in the South and then going to the North and being in the concrete jungle, and my people don't really have no understanding of ruralness, of husbandry, of the nature,
Mm-hmm.
of doing their own food, because the immediacy of paying rent in New York and in other urban environments in that concrete jungle is so real that their minds can't drift like that. But for those of us that got out, for those of us that have experienced it, that know that this is the back end to our civilization here in this country, we can't just speak in having a conversation about being foundationally melanated or black if we don't understand that our powerhouse here was always our agrarian nature. We were the people in the field to know how to work the land responds to us, the animals responded to us because we had dominion and not domination. Why do we have dominion? We've been dealing with these animals forever on different continents, let alone this one. So when we're operating in our natural capacity to be in alignment with our environment, then things start working majestically. The brother's screen is froze. I don't know. I'm gonna wait for him to